Look at me. I look like a ghost.
Okay, everyone, welcome to The Drive. So for those of you that don't know, The Drive is a talk show that we stream live on Facebook every Saturday morning,
Right.
10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk about, you can't see Brenda over there, where we talk about really tough topics.
We do.
Some serious and shenanigans.
Yes, because we make it fun.
Yes, so that's what it is. We tackle some tough topics, but we do it with fun.
Right.
We help you kind of see how you can navigate life's, we call them RDS roads, life's roads, roadblocks, detours, and speed bumps.
Right.
So, jump on in. We're going to get going here in just a second.
We are. Oh my God. Look at the sun is like right in my veins.
I think once we get going.
Yeah, well, it's just because we're like this way.
Yeah.
Good morning, Kia. Okay, let's get out of here.
We didn't tell what today's topic is either. We
No,
gotta do
go
that.
ahead. Well, I'm trying to.
okay.
I can't get out your driveway. I'm getting it. Go ahead.
All right, so today's topic is on overthinking, but I do want to let you guys know that we thank you so much. Oh, we're doing the contest too.
Right.
But we thank you so much for the shares. There were over 17 shares. There were 17 shares.
Yes.
Which was incredible. And I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, for voting on which topic you wanted. Whether you wanted
Healthy boundaries.
healthy boundaries or overthinking. It was pretty much 50-50. There was, on my personal page, it was 100% overthinking.
Wow.
In our group, it was 50-50.
Right.
In
And on
your
my
group-
page, it was mostly healthy boundaries.
Right.
Which we'll get to.
So, yes, so that tells us that both are really important to everyone. So, fortunately or unfortunately, I had a personal incident this week that has it, so that we'll be talking about the overthinking.
Oh,
So,
yeah. That's what we're going to get into.
All right. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Do we know where we're going?
No,
We're just driving.
we're
Okay.
just driving.
Okay. Oops, that's the wrong way. I guess I don't know how to turn it down. It went up. Okay. So welcome to The Drive. For those of you that don't know, this is my business partner and partner in crime, partner in podcast, partner in, I don't want to say life because that
Everything else we're
that gets-
doing. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, this is Brenda Colter.
Oh, there.
Oh, it's already sliding. Oh, there's Brenda. Hi.
That's me. And for all of you who do not know, this is Kat, who is my all of that other stuff, and also my conscience, because sometimes I don't know how to act.
This could be an interesting.
It's gonna be an interesting drive.
It's gonna be an interesting ride, you guys. I might be at this angle the whole time. I don't know. We'll see. Oh,
Well,
Megan,
she can
yay.
still see you.
Okay, so anyway, let's jump in.
Jump
Well,
right into it.
should we do the? We should do the drawing.
Oh,
We can do that. I have
no F-bombs this week, guys.
Oh, yeah.
So listen, so we were cracking up. One of the major things that we had a reaction to was my F-bomb last week, because most people don't really hear that too often from me. So what I decided was, when you are telling a story and it's something that somebody else said and you want to be accurate, that was the case with me, or in music, because sometimes the Cardi B, Nicki Minaj / Tupac spirit takes over in me. Sometimes I don't know how to talk when that happens. So,
that's funny.
F-bombs are okay in those cases, but none today.
Okay, none today. There will be none today. All right, I think I am going to have to hold this the whole time. I don't know. This isn't the best case scenario, but that's what happens when you go live. All right, so this week we are drawing for a $25 gift certificate to, if you are local, Twisted Olive, which is incredible.
Oh my God, it's so
if
good.
you are not local, then it will be Starbucks.
Are they only here? Twisted Olive, is that?
Yeah. Oh, you could order online though.
We're lucky.
You know what? You can order online. We'll do Twisted Olive.
Angela Dash, you are the winner. Angie, you won. Angie has been awesome. This is actually going to be part of Kat's story, but she was awesome. She invited us to the Urban League 94th anniversary gala. We were arguing yesterday about how you're supposed to say it. But
what do you guys think? I call it gala. You say
I think
gala?
I say gala too, but lady
everybody
said
was
gala.
saying gala last night.
Everybody
so
was.
we were the only ones.
We're
Is
gonna
it
go
not?
park. Yeah, we're gonna go park.
Okay. we're not going to drive. We're going to park.
Yeah.
So that
it'll
it
just
will
make
be
life
fun.
a little bit
You know
easier.
what? That's a good call.
You know, that was an executive decision, right?
That was a good call. All right, so we are talking about overthinking.
Yes.
And I want to get on my little feed here before we get going too much into it. Oops. Oh, wow. That didn't go too bad, did it?
It did not.
Ooh.
So I'm trying to decide which way in this parking lot is the best way to go.
Oh, yeah, we'll have to figure out the lighting. Lighting is always an issue for us.
Gee, I wonder why.
I don't know. Okay, so
Is that good?
Yeah, we need to pull the Bible back. My dad's Bible. Angie, just so that you that you're watching, I don't know if you knew, you won! Yay! So it's a gift card to the Twisted Olive. So thank you so much, and you are part of this whole thing.
This ain't gonna work.
It will if I do this. Yeah.
Do I look too chocolate, y'all? Can I see me? So we called an audible today. We won't be driving, we'll be parking because our camera is not mounted properly and we don't want to be holding up the camera and not talking to y'all properly. So we're just going to park. So we're still in the car and we'll talk to y'all until we drive back to Kat's house.
That sounds good.
So let's talk about overthinking.
Yeah, so can you while I tell my story, can you pull it up on there? So yeah, I'm going to put my glasses on so I can kind of see you guys a little bit. Nope, that didn't help at all, so we're just going to keep them there. So I don't want it to be all about this, but I did have to call 911 the other night, which is the first time ever for me. I had a little issue where what I think it was probably just indigestion.
Right. Probably. Maybe.
Maybe, we don't know. But what definitely happened was due to overthinking, it ended up into probably what was a full-blown anxiety attack, which I really think I just said just last week. I haven't had one in so long. And then I think that's what happened. I still don't know. All I know is there were a lot of physical problems happening. Like I was throwing up. I couldn't breathe right. I couldn't, all those things. And I paid attention because that's what I do. I always pay attention to what I'm thinking. And so anyway, I started having these symptoms. It was like just soreness everywhere, but what I noticed was tightness in my chest. So I did what we all know not to do, which was Google my symptoms. And I don't want to say I was convinced I was having a heart attack, but I was afraid that I may have been. And I knew that I needed to make a decision that was the right thing to do. And huge shout out to Charles Rainey, who was on the phone with me almost all night long, even while I was throwing up, while I was trying to make these decisions of what to do. And I was going to drive myself into the hospital, and my son freaked out and said, I don't think that's a good idea. And so I ended up calling 911. So anyway, some of the thoughts that were coming to me, and Angela had invited us to the gala, and we were so excited about going. And I'm like, I can't miss it. I can't miss this. I can't do this. I can't miss my son and I have this exciting weekend planned, the drive. Like I can't miss these things. And I was reminded that you're really going to miss them if you're not here,
right?
Or if you're in the hospital, or
right.
So it is really interesting. And one of my favorite thoughts that came to mind, and I know at least one of you relate to this, was I can't get sick or die because my house is a mess.
I cannot.
I can't die yet. My house is messy. I have to clean my house before I die. So anyway, just crazy overthinking that happened. And when the paramedics were there, the one really good thing, just really quick, the really good thing was that my blood pressure was perfect. My heart rate was perfect. And I think this is really, really, really important to note. He had asked me, he's like, can you take a deep breath? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, I can. And, because I was able to breathe well, but I meditated in that moment because he needed to measure my heart rate. And he goes, oh my gosh, you're able to lower your heart rate with your breathing. And I said, well, I teach meditation. And he said, I can tell. He said, usually only kids can do this. Usually by the time you're an adult, you lose the ability to do that. So I'm not going to say like I'm an expert meditator or anything like that, but I'm going to tell you, expert meditator?
Meditator?
I don't know. It's not, you could probably go, anyway. Meditator.
Anyway.
So, I might have made up a word. It's possible. But I think that, kind of oh no, I don't know where I was going with that. I'm not an expert meditator, but, because I was like, what was I saying when I got so off track?
Sorry.
was when, but yeah, when I said the meditator thing. So, but it clearly makes a difference. So we were able to rule out heart and, blood pressure and those typical things, the really scary things. But it doesn't mean it's not still a serious issue and not still something that, maybe we might, I don't know. It'll be okay, I think. What do you guys think? Should we move? Should I get out of the sun? Is it okay? I don't know. We also, can we have them vote on that? No. Anyway, so, so that was my overthinking and really realizing how much I was overthinking, even because that was the other thing. Friday was going to be, this was on Thursday night. Friday was just this huge day for us. We had a really important meeting that we were really excited about, and then the gala, and that I think even being excited was something that added to my anxiety.
Right?
Yeah, it was really interesting, but anyway, so that was that, and that was the overthinking on that, and that's what kind of helped. And I had a conversation with God, and I said, I know that you want to use me as a messenger, but I don't need to experience these things firsthand anymore.
Not everything. It's not necessary.
I get it. Okay, so anyway, so I know you mentioned something, and we didn't go into it because we don't pre-talk about any of this stuff because it is kind of better,
spontaneous,
I think,
when it's in the moment.
But you did mention something about relationships and the overthinking relationship. So what is, and while we're doing that, what do you find, because you voted on this, what do you find that you overthink about? What are some of the issues that pop up for you that you find, or when? So what or when?
Oh, that's good.
Because I know for me there used to be when I would overthink a specific time, but go ahead.
For me, I think my overthinking manifests most in my relationships. If you follow me, then I always talk about ships, because I believe that all of our relationships, friendships, partnerships, kinships, any relational connections are governed under the same principles when we associate with people. So it affected my relationships because I had a habit of hearing what I thought people were saying instead of hearing what they actually said. And it was mostly.
Did you think you hear it, or did you reinterpret it after they said it?
No, that's what I'm trying to. I went filter really quick, but
okay.
Like my current my current ship, there are often times where we will repeat a conversation, and I'll be like, well, you said so and so and so, and he's like, no, I said this. And then when I'm like, oh, I think you did, I think that's what I heard, but it's due to previous experiences. I've overthought it due to previous experiences that I've had, like, this is what it's gonna be, you know what I mean?
Yes.
In situations like that. So overthinking affects me and my friendships, or in all of my ships. Even my if you have someone in your life that you've ever had a tough relationship with, and you've decided to move beyond that point, I think you have to be careful not to overthink future interactions based according to previous interactions that you had with them.
And I think, and this is when we'll get into like how to stop doing that, but
Right.
The thing to remember, I think sometimes it's really important to know the why. Like, why do we do that?
Right.
The reason we do it is for protection.
Right.
We don't want to feel that hurt again. So I'm overthinking. I'm trying to predict what's going to happen.
Right.
So that I can save myself from feeling a negative feeling.
Dakia said, when someone dies, I start to overthink about life and where my life is and going.
That's a good one. And you know what that takes me to?
What?
Our conversation with when you had your health scare.
Right. I was just about to say, what I had to learn in that situation, Kia, is it really overthinking? I had a health scare when I was in North Carolina. Not sure if everybody knows, but really quick, I'll tell the story. I moved down to North Carolina a few years ago, which ended up just kind of being an emotional retreat that I apparently needed to have. But I moved down to North Carolina. It was just me and my children. I did not know, nor get to know, nor care to know anybody down there. So it was really just us. So there came a time to where I started having medical issues and going to the doctor. And these were some really serious possible issues that I could have. So I was waiting for blood work to come back and all of that stuff.
And it could have been life or death kind of stuff.
Right. And luckily, Kat and I were coaching together at the time. And I was like, I'm trying to figure out how to think my way around this because I don't want to just wallow in this place. And
I'll have to post the video.
Yeah, you can post it of what you saw, because you can tell them what you saw when I said wallow.
So for those of you that don't know this, I believe this is a gift to think in words and letters and things like that. And it's really why steer is even a thing, because I feel like God gave me the gift to be able to see that this spells something. But when she said the word wallow, I saw it in big block letters, and then I saw the W just fall off, and we're left with the word.
So wait a second.
I know you're going to say it.
When she said, so I see the W fall off, and if you take the W off of wallow, what are you left with? And I was like, aloe? Like, I don't know. So she was like, no, you're left with allow. So
it was about allowing.
Right. So I say that, Kia, to say, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that when people pass away, we question our own mortality and what we're doing in life and what direction we need to go in, because I feel like sometimes that can be a jarring but effectual process.
Right.
I think the problem is when you're ruminating and not doing anything about whatever changes you identify as something that you need to do or something that you need to change in your own personal life, if that's what your thoughts are surrounding.
Yeah, and I think for you, when we tried to steer the situation, we ask in that thought area, is it true, helpful, necessary, inspiring, kind? And it was all of those things. It was like, what do we do? What happens now? This isn't a thought that really needs to change. So that's when that allow part came. And from that, idol was born, which we could get into probably on another episode. It's a little deeper.
Yeah, idol is pretty deep. So once you guys get used to us talking about steer and hear exactly what we're talking about and kind of get used to that, then we'll go into idol, which is a little bit more radical but helpful.
Yeah, it's just a radical acceptance of what you're feeling.
Right.
And I think too, remembering,
is that what it is? I thought I made up radical.
No, that's what that
like that's what it is by definition.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought I made it up.
You did, and I just went with it.
Oh, okay.
But so I think sometimes knowing that the overthinking, if you are a little bit more deliberate and intentional about what you're thinking, it isn't necessarily overthinking, and we'll give you some tips on how to do that.
Right.
But the other thing I think a lot of people have this when you get ready to go to sleep at night. Is that when your brain used to turn on?
Absolutely.
Does it still?
Oh, yeah.
Mine doesn't anymore.
Well, I have to meditate before. Well, we'll get into tools. But yeah, I there are some special things that I have to do when I know that, during the times where I know that my brain runs the most rampant.
Yeah.
So
I will say, I think it's really important to note that, like, for me, I used to have these, like, this overthinking. I would be up at night. I couldn't go to sleep. My mind, it was like a switch came on when I laid down on my pillow, and my mind would just go like crazy.
And it would be like everything in life. You'd be laying, like, I would be laying there, like, I remember when I was 5 years old, and like, what does that
but it
do
does.
with anything today?
So it's like replaying all that stuff. So for me, you know, the fact that I don't have that anymore, and I don't say that like, oh, look at me. I say that like, this was a lot of hard work over years, but really dedicated to making sure that my thought life was healthy.
Right.
What has happened in that process is I've literally rewired my brain so that my default is no longer to the brain to switch on and start thinking when I hit the pillow. I go to sleep in like probably less than 2 minutes every night. I'm
better with that too. Usually I have to meditate first, but
yeah.
If I know that I've had a particularly eventful day, or if I know that next day that there's something that I'm anticipating. So if I may be a little bit anxious about something, then I have to meditate before I go to sleep to just kind of calm my. And usually I'll do like a like one of those nighttime guided meditations, and I'll just fall asleep to it.
Yeah. So I also want to say that I'm a terrible sleeper, meaning I don't get enough sleep.
Right.
But when I fall asleep, when I lay down to go to sleep, I do. But I have like FOMO in my own life where I won't actually hit the pillow. Once I hit the pillow, I'm good. But I just like don't let I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't want to miss it. I don't know.
Hilarious.
So I don't have a healthy sleep life, but I have a healthy thought life, which helps me go to sleep.
Oh, that's good.
Thanks. All right, so let's talk about some of the how. Like, how do we do?
We're going to get into, the kid said she wants to learn more about meditating. We'll be able to help you with that just a little bit. We'll give you like a little snippet of it. And then maybe that's something else we could probably do a whole show on that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So that, I think, meditation for me, when I started thinking about how did I, which is the fun when you start thinking about thinking, metacognition.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite things is, I think, when you start thinking about
what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to say?
No, I don't remember. I was thinking about what has helped me with overthinking. Because clearly I did it the other night, right? Clearly when I went down that path. And one of them is I protect myself from going down those paths usually.
Right.
So that...
How do you do that? What's your method of protection?
Well, one of them is not, like, if there are people... One of the biggest things that helped me was to... this is about setting healthy boundaries. Like, stop following people that are triggers for me.
Ooh.
Like on Facebook, when people post, stuff, I'm like, that's a trigger. I'm not going to go down. So, like, sorry, but if you post political stuff, I probably don't follow you. Just like, I don't unfriend, I just unfollow.
So you don't have to see
So
it.
I kind of cleaned up my life where I don't have as many triggers that would trigger the thought. That's what I did initially. I had to really kind of clean up who and what I allowed into my life that could be a trigger for overthinking. And I think it's important to note that we can't blame them for it because we're responsible for it.
Right.
But then we can also work on how they're in our lives.
I think it's also worth noting that so often we put the focus on having to I can't think of the word, but having to get the trigger in check. You have to, this is about you and you need to get it in check, because if that's a trigger for you, then that's your issue. And do you know what I mean? Like you hear that a lot. Like people want you to not only identify, but then make it so that this is not a trigger for you anymore. And I don't feel like that's
like remedy the trigger.
There you go. That's the word. And I don't think, and I think it's important to note here that that's not necessarily the case. Like
sometimes you can just remove the trigger.
Exactly. If I don't feel like it's hindering me in any other area of my life or creating any other issues for me, and this is just something that I don't like, for instance, politics. There are people who I absolutely adore with differing ideas about political beliefs and things like that. Do I love them any less? No. So I'm not going to remove the trigger, which would require either not talking to them at all or trying to understand their beliefs, in which I don't want to. So, I don't know if I was going to say that. I don't want to. So, I identify exactly what the issue is, and then I work out a remedy, something that helps me and something that works for me.
Okay, so you don't remove the trigger like I do, like unfollow and all that kind of stuff.
It just depends on the situation. I just wanted to make sure that it's clear, whatever, if it works for you, do what works for you. Because in some cases, I do need to remove the trigger.
Right.
But there are also times to where I don't feel like that's necessary.
Right. And
required.
I think that's the other thing, is find what works for you.
Right.
And this is all trial and error, you guys. Like, we don't have all the answers. We can just tell you what works for us, and what works for us today may not work for us tomorrow. Like this whole life thing is
that right
trial
there.
and error.
Because we always go, what works for the next person may not work for you. Well, what worked yesterday for you might not work for you today either. So keep that in mind and just be flexible, be fluid, and let it flow.
Did we answer that question?
I don't know.
What was
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, Natalie called, said she deletes their drama. You better say it, Natalie. Sometimes you gotta get it out the way. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so I mean, finding ways.
I think we did though.
Okay.
I think we answered it long ago and then kept going.
Okay, so the first thing was so the first one was to remove some of the triggers. That was one of the things with the overthinking. And for me, I think that, like, my thought life is really productive now because of these things that we're going to talk about.
Yes.
So for me, meditation was the absolute biggest thing. And let me tell you, I still don't consider myself an expert meditator. I'm just someone who meditates a lot and believes very strongly in it. And when I say a lot, sometimes it's not every day. Sometimes I'll go a week or two without meditating and be like, something starts happening and I need to get back into the habit. But meditation can happen in 2 minutes. We do a thing called Take Two, where you just close your eyes and pay attention to what you're thinking. That's it. It doesn't have to be like and all that kind of stuff. It can be, which is fine too. There's so many different types. But I will tell you how I started, which was literally just sitting cross-legged on my bed with YouTube videos.
I can't cross my legs, so I just sit down somewhere. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. So wherever you want to sit, and it's very important that you're comfortable.
For real, I can't. It's so uncomfortable. Listen,
yeah, so
honey,
then don't do that.
Anybody got time for
lay
that?
down, sit somewhere where it's comfortable. Like, I have a few different spots. I always thought I had to have one, but I have like probably 4 or 5 different spots that are my place, my sanctuary, if you will. And I know the places that kind of fuel me quickly. Mine is in nature, by water, that kind of stuff. So, and it's, for me, it's just sitting quietly and paying attention to what I'm thinking and letting the thoughts just pass by. Like, I see them. That's mindfulness, right? That's like, I know what's in my mind. I'm aware of what's going on, and I'm just going to let it go like in a cloud and just kind of float by. And that's why, by the way, my shirt today is Annika, which is... There's a steering wheel on it. I don't know if you can see it. There's a steering wheel and Annika. You'll have to Google it. I'm not like an expert on this, but it basically means impermanence. So nothing is forever.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look about.
Yeah, it's like, it's in Buddhism. I'm not a Buddhist, and I'm not like, there's none of that. I mean, not that that's a bad thing. None of the views
expressed in the drive are not just playing.
Yeah. I respect all religions,
right.
And I think that there is something to gain from all of them.
Absolutely.
And I don't even know where I saw this, but I saw it somewhere, and I looked it up. Oh, you know what it was? I was looking for T-shirts, and this had a wheel on it, and I liked it, so I had to look up what Annika was.
We're talking about driving and steering.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
It could have said anything on it.
Right. But I liked what it said, and it is like, and so I thought I like purposely wore this today because even in the overthinking, that will pass.
Right.
It really will.
Natalie said, as an Army veteran, balancing and choosing what I want to do, just breathe and let it go. First of all, thank you so much for your service. We appreciate you. We love you. And that is the key. Like, the key is balance. Even when you talk about meditation, it's great when you can have a spot. Like, I have spots, I have places where I can go, but I'm very careful. Even when, like, I'm talking to the ladies who I work with or whatever, like, sometimes you are dead smack in the middle of a day and something's happening and you're like, you know what, I need to meditate really quick. So it's okay to just go to the bathroom.
Yes.
If you're gone for 2 minutes and you leave the room, I call it practicing the pause. Just like taking 2. Most of the time, if you go and you just do whatever you need to do in those 2 minutes, sitting quietly wherever you, like in the bathroom, like I said, that's my go-to, because I know if I go there, nobody's gonna follow you to the bathroom,
and they're not gonna wonder why you're in there for that 2 minutes.
So even doing it that fast is like a quick way for me to settle, not only meditate, but get my thoughts in order and figure out exactly what I need to do to bring myself down. The sun moved, girl, honey.
Yeah, so
yeah, meditation. No matter what that looks like for you. So when Kia talks about wanting to learn more about meditation,
and we'll do an episode on that. I think that's a good idea.
We'll do a whole episode on it, but for the time being, just know that it's not necessarily driving out every thought. When you meditate, your brain doesn't go silent. For me, I don't know if that's supposed to be
we've had some people that we've talked to that said the goal is to have nothing, which is awesome for them. It doesn't work for me, and it actually for me works better to see the thought,
right,
to not react to the thought, to allow the thought, let it pass through. Yeah, to me, especially when people say, and here's the thing that we hear the most, I can't, my mind's too busy to meditate. That's exactly when it is best to meditate,
right? Because
then you can just sit and go, what is going on up there? And I know I used to say mine was like the ticker on the bottom of CNN, like when there's, and then they're like, or actually there's another one that runs like 3 or 4 of them, and one's running really slow and one's running really fast, and then the person's talking and it's like, bah! But then to like, okay, maybe I can just slow down one of the ticker tapes. Maybe I can just remove one of them. Maybe I can let that, let the person who's talking, like, drown that out and turn it into Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, 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 wah.
Can't deal.
But that's a cool thing about meditating is you can do anything you want, and you can start imagining anything you want, and especially with guided meditations. And I will, my favorite, Michelle Kreidler, is just incredible.
Oh my God, she's right here in Akron too.
Yeah.
So
find her, and she does guided meditations, I think, once a month, and then she's done them with us through the ones that we do. By the way, we do them every Thursday at noon for free. So
downtown on the plaza or at our office, 50 South Main, Suite 702. But if you follow Downtown Akron Partnership, then you can go. There's an actual event on Facebook called Meditation on the Plaza. I think that's coming to an end, but we're going to keep it going. You guys are the first to know.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it going. So right now we're doing meditation on the plaza every Thursday at noon.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. Kat's been doing it lately. I'm getting my life together. If anybody knows any good mechanics, this whole car situation that you guys have been following along with me. Oh, I don't even want to talk about it. I'm going to meditate about it. Oh, with guided meditations, you can also find them on YouTube, and there are quick, like 2-minute ones, and that was a good start for me. Yeah. Finding a good 2 to 5 minute guided meditation so that I wasn't sitting there the whole time thinking about what else I needed to do, because during that amateur phase, I was still, like I'm not an amateur anymore. I was still so, my thoughts weren't productive. I was thinking about what I could be doing instead of actually processing the thoughts that I've been having. So consider that. Melinda said, good morning, Melinda. Violet said, I'm going to try this. Good, do it. Yeah. Let me know how you think about it.
And I want to talk, because most of the time when we do, this is not how I started, and it isn't even my go-to, to be honest with you, but again, you find what works for you and do that. There is no right or wrong way to meditate. There just isn't. You find what works for you and do it. And you may run across people that tell you there's a right or a wrong way to do it.
They will tell you.
They're lying.
Whether you ask or not.
Because they want you to do it their way. I don't want you to do it my way. I want you to do it your way, in the way that works for you. But a lot of people will talk about focusing on the breath. It does help, but I prefer to focus on the thoughts. I do sometimes.
It depends on, for me, the purpose of my meditation depends, because now I've realized that I meditate for different reasons. Sometimes I meditate for mindfulness. Sometimes I meditate for relaxation. When I want to relax, concentrating on the breath is what helps me best.
Okay. I like that.
So
yeah, and I think I do like so maybe for me to stop overthinking, it is something that,
pay attention to the
paying attention to the breath. Because
we just came up with something. Did y'all see how that works? No, I'm just but seriously, that's
because I think, because for me, I play around a lot with the breath thing, where I'm like, I will count in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. I do that, but that's not natural for me. So then I find, okay, is it 6? And then hold for 4, and out 6 and hold for 4. So I do that, sort of playing with it and paying it. So when you're paying attention to that, then you're not paying attention to the thoughts. So it does kind of slow them down. So the thing with overthinking a lot of times is that we are in what's called an amygdala hijack. And the amygdala, again, we're not like brain scientists or anything, but we are brain nerds.
Like they can't tell.
Yeah. We're brain nerds. We're brain wannabe scientists.
We are. Yeah. I was gonna say junkies. That brain junkies?
Maybe. Kind of.
I
get all excited.
Like brain junkies for dummies kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so the amygdala hijack, that's when you get in the part of your brain where you're in fight, flight, or freeze. And you're like, so that's what's happening when you're in that overthinking mode that gets the anxiety up. So one of the ways to get out of it is to bring it to the front part of your brain, where you're in more of the logic part of your brain. And that's when you start asking yourself questions. So one of the things you can do is write down, what am I thinking? And just do a brain dump onto a piece of paper with everything you're thinking. Now, we could get into steer a lot more on this, because that's part of steer, but that's the T in steer. But write down everything you're thinking, and then start asking yourself questions about what you're thinking. And you want to say something?
I was just thinking, if anybody's interested in taking Steer 101, maybe we should do a Steer 101 here. I know we got a lot going on, but it's just coming
on live stream.
No, like maybe we just do a class. Maybe we go out, because we haven't done one.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're interested, let us know. We won't plan it for now, and we don't know exactly when it'll be, but if you would be interested in taking Steer 101 so that you can learn how to steer, just inbox us and let us know.
Yeah.
Because we haven't done Steer 101 in a little while.
Right. It's been a while. So, yeah, we can do them. We've got the online class that we do.
Right.
And then in our office as well. So, yeah.
The thing is, with a lot of this stuff, the reason why we're so in love with Steer is because it works for all of these things that we're talking about, for all of these issues that you're having. Once you decide that you do want to fix it, that you do want help, it works for that. And maybe we can figure out a way, because all of this will probably make a little bit more sense to you.
Yeah, if they've taken the Steer class, yeah.
So, I mean, you can still listen, even if you don't want to, because I think this is really cool. And we enjoyed this. But I could see how when we talk about it, people are probably going, what the heck is that?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's possible. And that was just coming to mind while you were talking.
Yeah, I saw your brain going, and I was like, what's she thinking? And then I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't ask right now. Because we're live. Maybe I should have waited. These prices we can discuss later.
Right. That's what I started to do. Like, let's discuss in a minute.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyway, yes. So, writing it all down and then asking yourself some questions around it. What am I supposed to learn from this could be a good one.
Right.
Or, is it true, helpful, inspiring? That's what you're like, I don't want to say that. That's part of the scene. We don't want to give it away.
Right.
But yeah.
We can give you specific questions. Steer gives you specific questions to ask in cases like that. And that's why.
Yeah.
We can't just,
So, yeah, I think, getting that down.
I wanted to get into. I forgot. It was good, too.
There was something I asked you, and you said, we'll talk about it on there.
No, I think I asked you, and I said, we'll talk about it on there.
That's what
I
you're
asked
right.
you something. I can't remember what it was, though.
I don't know, but
it'll be on the follow-up video. We're starting to consider probably doing these follow-up videos afterward, because what we find is when we're in here with you guys and kind of in the moment, we just go. Like, you guys fuel us, and we just kind of go, and stuff comes to mind, and then later we're like, oh shoot, we forgot to say this. So, but
it also brings up, even after this, I don't know about you guys, but it brings up a lot of conversations. We've had a lot of people that have really helped with that follow-up content by inboxing us and saying, hey, this made me think that, or we go back through the notes and read what people said, different things like that. So you guys are helping fuel those conversations too, and hopefully whatever comes up, you think about it,
right,
and then it helps you figure out how to solve some of your own issues, because at the end of the day, that's what Steer is. It's a self-coaching model. Like, we want to teach people to be able to handle their issues in the moment or on their own. Is that fair? And
it is.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, like, I don't know. Oh, that's what it was. We're a little bit over, so okay. Sorry guys, we understand.
I wasn't even looking at the time.
I know, but so what I found out very recently is that when my amygdala kicks in and it does the fight, flight, or freeze, it was brought to my attention that mine is always flight.
Ooh.
Always. So I haven't remedied it like I thought I did. I was making justifications for flying.
Ah, see, we're always growing.
Right?
And ethics class, ethics 101 or whatever it was, I remember her saying, anytime you find yourself justifying, you need to question what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's so.
And I
really
didn't notice. I had to be open and receptive to the person who was saying it to me. And I was
Which is hard sometimes.
And they were saying it in a not very nice kind of way. Like, it was kind of like, all you do is run and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wait a minute, first of all. So that's where I went first. And then I was like, and then I had to kind of wait. And
So you went to fight first?
I went to fight. In that instance, I did go to, because I jumped on defense. I got really defensive and I went into fight. And I hung up the phone and sat there and I started thinking about certain situations. And when I was like, whoa.
And that's what I think
I do.
And we have to be open to growth, really.
Right.
That's what it is.
I'm grown enough to know I'm not even really ready to fix it yet, I don't think. But I'm going to work on it. Yeah. I'm glad that I'm aware of it, and I'll figure out what I need to do to fix it when I feel like it's necessary.
So, on that note, I think, thank you guys all so much for being here. I can't really see all that much on here, so I apologize for that. We are, a couple of things, make sure that when you share, you use hashtag share the drive.
Right.
And make it so we can see. I think we saw everyone. We might have been missing 3. I think we were missing 3 that we couldn't see that they shared. Now, we knew Jackie from last week shared because she told us. So that was one of them. So there's probably 2 more that shared it. But because of your settings, if you don't share it in a way
public, you have to make it a public so that we can either that or you can friend either one of us, friend Kat or myself, so that we can see when you share. Because if your settings are on like friends only and you share it out and we're not your friends, we can't see that post. So, and
I think what we're going to do moving forward for the drawing, we're going to do it once a month.
Yes.
So, but it'll be a bigger one. So you can do, well, and we'll do other ways to enter, but share the drive is a big one. We so appreciate you not only being here, and if you're a replay viewer, make sure to comment. That's fun to go back and look at those comments and know that it's helping people. That's why we're doing this. And go ahead.
We're also going to create the Drive Facebook page so that you guys can see when we're going live. What we're finding is that when we go live on my page, only my friends can see. When we go live on Kat's page, only her friends can see. So we're trying to work it out so that everybody is getting these notifications and everybody is remembering to come in. So you'll have to like the Drive page for contest updates and to get notifications when we're going live and things like that. But that's what we're moving into. So we'll keep y'all posted on that.
And we're uploading it onto
YouTube.
So that's
subscribe.
Yes, subscribe on there. It's on SYLCconsulting.com, or no, just SYLC Consulting on YouTube.
Yes, SYLC Consulting.
Yeah.
We'll put the link to the YouTube page in the comments.
Yeah. So make sure to share out. I'm trying to think, there was one other thing I was, so I think next week we'll talk about healthy boundaries, because that was such a big topic. But please, again, let us know if there are other topics. Thank you so much for letting us know that these were the topics that you wanted. But if there are other ones, I think meditation is a good one.
Yeah.
So
that one, we're going to work on that one too.
Yeah.
So we're ready. We got y'all.
Every day. We want to do this. No, we well, yeah. I would, but
would you do this every day?
I just wouldn't get anything else done. We got a lot of other things we're doing.
I don't want to have to do it every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if we wanted to, like, hey y'all, we here all of a sudden for no reason.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, that's
just pop in.
Right.
But when you're like, okay, all right, we need to get going. We're running way over.
We're getting off here. All right, love you guys. Don't forget to inbox questions. We appreciate all of your feedback. We read everything, and because we respond to everything. So just let us know any other topics that you have that are of particular interest. Don't forget, if you want to take Steer 101, just shoot us an inbox. If we get enough people who are interested, we'll get y'all together.
Yeah. All right.
Talk to you later.
Thanks.
See you next Saturday. I was going to say same channel same time, but it won't. It'll be on the Drive. So next week, same time, we'll see y'all.
And we'll send you guys notifications to like the Drive so you can get the invitations, not notifications.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. See y'all later. Bye. Oh shoot. This can't happen every week. I can't do it. Yeah.
Oh no. This is where we are. Can't get to